Hi guys, welcome back to another mobility flow with me.
If your hips feel stuck or tight, this 15 minutes mobility workout will change the way you move.
Today we are going to work on hip mobility. We are working on a progressive flow, so we are adding blocks into the flow, making it more complex as we move along, and that also allows us to get into a nice flow as well. Before we get into it, do subscribe to my channel and hit the like button on this video. Also comment if there is anything else you would like to see on this channel, so I know that I make content that best serves you guys. And before we progress, I do have my Unlock Your Hips mobility program available on my website for those who are working on that hip mobility or who are looking to add simple and effective routines to their weekly movement schedule to unlock that hip area, lower back and core. So that is a very nice program for those who need that type of movement for their life. So let's get into it. We are going to start with a 90-90 hip switch, and so we are going to take our knees into a 90-degree angle. So when I start, my right shin is in front of my body. And from here, what's gonna happen, I'm going to flatten my feet on the floor. I'm going to turn my knees to the other side of my body. So now my left shin is in front of my body. So this is kind of like a fundamental movement for this flow that we are working on. So we always want to make sure that we get the fundamentals right before we go. So every time we flatten our feet, we are going to swap those knees to the other side. It is possible to start this with the help of our hands, so keeping the hands behind the back before it gets a little bit easier. So we are going to go 5 repetitions each side. So flattening feet on the floor or on the mat, taking knees in front of the body, finding a nice posture here. So we are not going to rush. Going to the other side, flattening feet, flipping the knees, finding a nice posture. Always straightening the posture as we come to the end range of the movement, because that really allows us to actually work on that hip mobility rather than just working on the movement. We'll go one more time. And last one, coming back to the center. Now as we go again, we are going to add a little twist in here. So with a straight back, we are going to wrap our hand behind our back, not actually wrapping, but landing that hand behind our back, straightening our back even more, grabbing the hold of our opposite knee, and slight twist and at the end range of the motion. Releasing, coming back to the center, turning to the other side. So now as my left shin is in front of my body, my left hand lands behind my back, straightening my back here, grabbing the hold of my knee, twisting, and then going to the other side. And again, we are going to do 5 repetitions each side. So beginning the movement, twisting, turning back to center, going to the other side, into a twist, flattening the feet, twisting. Twisting should always be gentle, so nothing forceful. Always when we are working on a flow movement, we really never want to do anything forceful, but things should really feel good for our body. And simultaneously, we always want to learn the basics of the movement before we start flowing through it, because in that way we make sure that we actually, our nervous system and our brain is wired into what is to come. We do one more rep like this. And now, are you ready to add into this movement? We are going to add a shin thrust. So what's going to happen, we are going to, as I'm now with my right leg in front of my body, I'm going to add a thrust from my hips. So I'm pushing up with my hips all the way up, and then softly landing down, flattening those feet again, going to the other side, finding a nice position. So now that I'm on my left knee is in front of my body. I'm straightening my right ankle, so I'm finding it easier to thrust up for my knees, and then lowering gently down, flattening those feet again. And now we are going to start, and we do 5 repetitions each side. So I'm going to start with a thrust on my right side, thrusting up, gently landing down. Again, if this feels a little bit challenging, I can always help with my hands, especially in the beginning. That's totally appropriate. This movement should be really controlled, so we shouldn't just drop down, but gently lower those hips down. That's 3. You might notice on this one that one side is a little bit more tight, and it's a little bit harder maybe to find the alignment, but over time when we work on the mobility from all sides, from all directions on the hips, we are going to find that the movement becomes a little bit more smooth over time. And coming back to the center. Perfect, beautiful. Now, the next addition to this one will be reach. So for this one, if you do know that your lower back is a little bit sensitive or it's hard to go into extension movements, then I would just keep that thrusting for the next phase of this motion. So, but if you are ready to add in a little bit more challenge, you can go with me. So we are going to add that right hand behind our hips, and from here we are going to thrust up, simultaneously reaching that left hand up to the sky. So thrusting up, reaching up. So here, I'm not aiming to go into any kind of extreme bend, but I'm just thrusting my hips up and reaching up to the sky. So aiming to keep my core as tall as I can. And then from here to the other side, landing that hand. Remember that we need to straighten that right ankle here. Thrusting up, softly landing down. Again, 5 repetitions each side. No rush. And for this type of movement, like I mentioned before, I wouldn't go anywhere where my body is not ready to go. So you need to always listen to your body and stick to basics until your body is giving you the signals that, okay, things are now starting to feel smooth and rather easy, so that it will be possible to add in the progressions. But we should never try to progress there where we are not ready to go, because that just means that our body is going to freak out. And coming back to the center. Perfect. Okay, so final addition to this flow, then we are going to go one round like that, and then we are going to take a little break and do that whole flow one more time in a fluid motion. So we are going to add a shin box lunge to this one. So as we thrust up, we are going to take the back leg to the front and lunge forward. So as I'm thrusting on my right shin, I'm thrusting my hips up, and from here I'm going to turn this left foot in front of my body and lunging forward. So I'm pushing my hips slightly forward so that my knee travels over my toes, so that I get a nice opening on my hips. Then I'm gently lowering down, so I'm actually pushing my hips all the way down, gently, and then I'm bringing that left leg to where I started from. Now flattening those feet again, coming to the other side. Now finding a nice position for my shins, and from here thrusting up, bringing that left leg over and lunging forward, pushing hips back, gently lowering down, bringing those legs to where they came from, flattening feet, going to the other side. Again, 5 repetitions each side. All the way down and to the other side. Take your time. No need to rush the motion ever. Two more times each side. And one last one. And gently lowering down. Perfect. Now taking a slight break before going into a final round. So now doing the whole movement, the movement flow in a one solid manner, and we are gonna do 5 repetitions each side. So slight breather here. So breathe through the nose, into your belly, out through the nose as well. That's what I always encourage, because that helps to stabilize the gases in our system, so oxygen and CO2. Helping us recover between our sets always. That's something that I started practicing years ago, and always through my even challenging exercise, I try to breathe as much through the nose as possible, but that really begins at rest. So we need to practice things first at rest before we practice them in a more stressful situation. So now I'm going to start with my flow. So actually I'm going to start from my left side, and then I'm going to flip to the right side and making the lunge forward from there. So 5 repetitions each side. Ready. Thrusting up, lunging forward, no rush. And gently landing always, so the hips travel down first. Two more reps, both sides. And that's it. Beautiful work. Now tell me guys how you felt with this kind of flow. It is a little bit challenging flow for the hips, but absolutely beautiful. And as we work through the progressions, there are always the more easier versions of the movement, which normally will be easier to perform, and then we just add layers into it. But that all being said, of course, we are all at different phases of our movement journey, and some movements just don't feel right for everybody, but we always have places where we can improve and keep progressing. Just like I said, do check out my Unlock Your Hips mobility program. That is a phenomenal program to work on that hip area. I look forward to flowing with you guys again. See you soon.